how do you see the future of Europe nowadays from back home, from Poland?
Certainly, everything has changed in 1 week, and right now I think that we all in Europe realized that our values, our common values, just like democracy, just like rule of law, and solidarity, and etc., are not given us for granted. That we have to protect them, because there is a guy who have another or other vision of the world. I told it during my speech that yesterday when we had a silent rally supporting the Ukrainians, rally of solidarity with the Ukrainian nation, in the same time Mr. Putin implemented new law according to which all those who will protest against the war, will support peace, will be punished, will be imprisoned for 6 years. And it is the difference in vision of the world. And it is his vision of the world which he would like to impose on Ukrainians, and later for Romanians, for Poles, for Baltic countries, for Finns, and finally to whole world. And we have to stop them. And on the other side, when we are talking about the future of Europe, we have to be aware that we have to be very strict to protect our main values. Because we see in many European countries right now the same process, that our democracy is sliced just like sausage, just like Putin do it in the Russia, and later started to do it in the Ukraine, sliced Crimea, sliced Lugansk, and so on, Oblast, and so on and so on. And we can be very firm, very strict, and ready to immediately react. If somebody in Europe would like to go the same path, he cannot be in a club. It is the first, the thing. Second, it is that if we want to be stronger, we really have to listen to the local and regional authorities, because every crisis, even those humanitarian crises right now, we have in Poland, for example, but in Romania, in Hungary, in Slovakia, the local and regional authorities really facing real problems. We are responsible for accommodation, for feed, for provision of medical health care, and so on and so on. So we cannot be, no longer can be ignored and treated as some, you know, some unnecessary part of the European democracy.
And you back home really did a lot of things in that direction, because it's not only a political speech that you have right now. You did real things.
Yes, you know, even right now my phone is calling. I feel so. I know that somebody calling to offer, because our society is really great. Somebody certainly is calling to offer his help, or somebody is calling me that we have another group of refugees, mainly kids, mainly women. But if we're talking about Europe, we have to strengthen it from the foundation, from the local level. And two additional things which we should revise. We are talking about green and digital Europe, and these goals are still crucial. But talking about a green Europe, we have to put our energy safety at the first. So we have to change our way of thinking, not because right now we know that this way of thinking made us dependent from Putin. So we have to be really independent. We have to change our way of thinking. Okay, we want to be green, but we want to be safe. We want to be secure. And if we are talking about digitalization right now, the cyber war has started. We know how prepared Putin to this war is. And certainly we have to be digital, but we have to be secure in the global network as well. So it is something what need to be revised, what we need to be rethink. The priorities has changed.
Even last time we talked about EU denial, let's say, in different countries of Europe, and we know that even in Poland you face the thing. Is it a moment when we should realize more than ever that our place is in Europe, is in NATO, and the question that arises all the time is what if we weren't members of NATO and of the European Union?
Yes, that's true. But if we analyze who was against the strong and common united union, we will come to the conclusion that the European Putin's friends were actually, frankly speaking, Mr. Orban, Mr. Salvini, Ms. Le Pen, German politics as well. Right now, either they are really quiet, or they change, just like German politics, completely their position. It is good. It is good for a common European idea. And it is the moment when we should strengthen European unity, change the rules that in the future nobody can block the common European decisions, because we know that this blocking system was abused by Mr. Putin's friend in the past. So I don't like to have such a system no longer in Europe. And if we are talking about a tough but real politics, it is the moment because right now the world is black or white. So all those have to say either they are black or they are white. If they are black and they respect the same values like Putin, okay, you are not the member of a club, very strictly. So that's all about this process of slicing Europe. Just like Putin sliced our the democracy, they are trying to slice Europe. It is unacceptable.
President Tzitzikostas pointed yesterday during his speech that we should understand that we are powerful because we are free and we live in real democracy. And suddenly all these words gain more power than they used to do, I don't know, some weeks ago.
Yeah, but you know, I can only quote our Pope Jean Paul II. That he said when we were in the communist times and we were fighting for a freedom, that freedom it is not something given. That freedom it is our common responsibility. So right now it is real. That it is not something given, that freedom, it is a value. And we shouldn't have any compromise to protect this value.
We are almost ending the conference on the future of Europe. Is this a key point to restart whatever Europe means for its citizens?
You know, we have this final conclusions still ahead of us, and I'm very curious how our plenary meeting on the conference on the future of Europe will look like. Because
what do you expect it to look like?
I expect that we will be firm and brave, that we go farther with our conclusions, that we cannot ignore what was happened, because if we ignore it, it means that we are really weak. So I think that even if these final conclusions will have to wait a little bit longer, because just like I said, right now it's a moment when we should stop and to rethink all our, on one hand, our European mechanism, our European solidarity, and on the other hand, we have to rethink our approach on the different crucial topic. It takes time. We shouldn't prolong the process, but I think that we have to change these primary recommendations, because once again, in last week, our world or our perception of security, of our security of modern world collapsed. Our world has changed and will be no longer the same.